Hello and welcome back to Off-Road Yota Exploration. My name is Kai and this is my 2017 Toyota Tacoma. Today we're going to have a look at the Bison Off-Road Stop Cam Kit. This is a kit designed to replace the factory lower control arm cam bolts with octagon shaped washers. These will help to prevent the bolts from moving in place and hold the lower control arm in the correct position. This one's got straight edges on 8 sides to be able to prevent it from turning without actually removing the washer and reinserting it into the cam tabs. So this kit comes with 4 new bolts. For the Tacoma ones, they come with the sleeves to fit in there perfectly and hold everything nicely in place. So we'll do a quick install overview and then we'll get into the review. So to get these installed, we'll have to remove the factory low control arm cam bolts. And to do that, we'll need a 22mm socket, ideally 2 of them, to hold the other side while you loosen it from that one side. And then to install the new bolts for the smaller ones, these ones will go in the rear of the lower control arm. You'll need a 15/16 socket, as well as open end wrench. And then for the front ones, you'll need a 1/16 socket, as well as an open end wrench. I don't have one that size, so I'm just using an adjustable wrench. And then obviously we'll need a torque wrench as well to torque everything down to specs once we're done. So let's get it installed. Alright, so let me show you the install. I've already done the passenger side. Just to work out all the kinks. So now I'll show you the whole process on the driver side. Go ahead and get it done. Start by loosening the factory cam bolts. To do that, you'll need the 22mm sockets. So the way that I have my cams adjusted is with the front as far in as possible and the back as far out as possible. So depending on your alignment, you might want to mark it so that you can align the new Bison Off-Road cam stop kits in the correct location. But for me, I know that I want to orientate it for the front to be as far in as possible and for the back to be out as far as possible. That allows me to push the lower control arm as far forward as possible, giving me the most clearance that I can for the bigger tires. a little bit stuck in there, so just push it out with a bolt. And then this is a whole tube that's in there, so I'm going to kind of try and alleviate the weight that's on there by lowering down the jack and then adjusting the pressure on that from the lower control arm. There we go. It's a little bit stuck in there. A little bit of prying and hammering got it all out. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the new bolt in there. Make sure we just let both sides down a little bit. The front ones, they have a sleeve. It's a nice metal sleeve. They will have to go in to line up through that hole. So you can just take something that can fit into the hole from one side and try and adjust it up a little bit to get that in there. And then from there, put on the washer, put that in there, and get that aligned. And then again, as I said, I want mine to be adjusted in as far as possible. So that's how we position that. And then we put the back one on. And then that one needs to move over a bit to fit in. Look at it from behind. And this one goes in here. I just need to bring that over a bit for it to go in. But in the meantime, we can put the nut on. For the nut, they've got some little markers on the side here. The ones that have the indents, that goes on the outside. The nut has a little bit of a tapering in there to help it lock in place. So you want to have the side with the marks go on towards the end. We'll get that up in there. We just need to move the lower control arm over a little bit to get that in there. There we go. Just need to tap it over a little bit. We got it into place. So now we'll go ahead and use the 1 1/16 socket and get that on there. Again, we'll use the open-end wrench on the back because of the limited space, and then we'll go ahead and get that tightened. So right now we don't want to get it tightened on there all the way, just enough to hold it in place. And then, because I'm still running the lower control arm factory ones, so we've got the rubber bushings in there, so those need to be tightened and held in place once you're at ride height. So once we put it back down on the ground, we'll get it all tightened back up and torqued back to spec. So that's the front one. Let's go on to the rear one. Alright, this one again will need the 22mm socket. This one wants to play along. There we go. Go ahead and take out factory one. And then we've got the Bison off-road one. And then same thing again with this one. It's got the special nut. So we'll go ahead and get that lined up in there. And then, as I said, for this one, I want it out as far as possible. However, on the other side, I figured out that you can't get it enough to line up with the furthest setting that you have on the Bison off-road cam. So we'll have to use number 2 on this one. And then for the rear ones, we'll need the 15/16 socket to get those on there. And there we go. Now we'll go ahead and lower it down and then torque these down to factory spec. And then we'll give them a try. You know, when you are coming across a fallen tree in the trail, or if you have trying to climb up a ledge or so, where you need to bump the tire over a little bit, that can often cause the factory cams or rounded cams to either bend over the tabs that hold them in place, or it can even cause the rounded cam bolts to twist and knock your alignment out of spec, moving your lower control arm around. So this kit helps to prevent the cam bolt from being able to rotate, and therefore holding it better in place and keeping your alignment in spec. So I've had these on there for about 6 months now, and I've taken it off-road a couple of times. I'm currently in Ocala National Forest, been driving around here all morning, and had to go over a couple of vlogs, so I had all the confidence going over them, knowing that the cam bolts aren't going to adjust. I had to bump my way over 1 or 2 of them, And I just finished checking everything. Everything is still in place, nothing has moved. So they're holding up really nicely. Really impressed with the hardware and the quality of the system. So I'm sure it'll hold up for a long time. I have not had to adjust the cam bolt or the alignment at all. I had everything kind of lined up the way that I needed to before I installed this. So that made it easy for the install for me, kind of just knowing exactly where I need to position those bolts. And everything's worked out perfectly. The alignment is exactly how I like it. And it moved the tire in the position where I need it. So I'm really impressed with the kit. I hope I don't have to change it or find a different solution, but I'm really happy with it and hope it'll last a long time. So that brings us to the end of our video for today. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Get out there and explore, but don't forget to tread lightly. Cheers.